Land Rover. Above and beyond.
To Super Tuesday, presented by Boost Mobile. Georgia welcoming in the 12th ranked Kentucky Wildcats, and Stegeman Coliseum is sold out. These students have been waiting all day long for an opportunity to get in and cheer on their Bulldogs. Kentucky, of course, has Ashton Hagans on the other side, who was committed to Georgia, now plays for the Wildcats. He said he's never been booed before in his life, but he thinks that could happen tonight. Let's go to Jimmy Dykes with a breakdown of what Hagans has been doing so well on the court.
Laura, I can tell you this, number 2, Ashton Hagans from Kentucky. Over the last 5 ball games, he's had at least 3 steals. He is a disruptive defender. Where is number 2? That's one of the questions that Georgia needs to think as soon as they get the ball tonight, because number 2 has the green light defensively. He's a gambler on the ball and off the ball, a paint touch guy on the offensive end. For a freshman point guard on the road, Ravi, this is a major story in tonight's game.
No doubt about it, Jimmy. You're absolutely right. The gang is all here for a Super Tuesday. Welcome. I'm Carl Ravitch. The gang is all here. About 10,000, first of 7 consecutive sellouts. Tom Crean in his first year has generated a whole bunch of excitement. And what a couple of tests he's got coming up. He's got Kentucky here, and the road doesn't get any easier. For the Wildcats, we'll keep an eye on Ashton Hagans. Also, their inability to start fast. They've fallen behind their last couple of games. They've been able to rally and win. But you don't want to fall behind on the road as we get set for tonight's game and tonight's menu. Boy, Super Tuesday is locked and loaded with games across the country. SEC, the best team in the conference, is playing on ESPN2, Tennessee, and they will likely move up in the standings. Virginia Tech could be the first loss for the Cavaliers. That's at 8 Eastern time on the ESPN Plus app and the ACC network. And a good one follows us. Good atmosphere here, Jim.
Oh, absolutely amazing what Tom Crean has done in terms of getting the energy not only in this building but in the community and in his team, which must play extremely hard tonight. This is a Kentucky team that's growing up before our eyes, and I'm still bullish like you. I think Tennessee and Virginia, 2 best teams in college basketball tonight. That can change. We saw Duke change last night right before our eyes, but Tennessee and Virginia, to me, hard to handle.
Let's see what Kentucky does tonight. Ask Ashton Hagans. Every time he gets the ball, he's going to get the treatment. A one-time commit to Georgia. Decommitted when Mark Fox was fired, and now he's a Wildcat. He's got the ball with 9 seconds on the shot clock. He'll put it up from the free throw line and miss. Offensive rebound, something this team does really well. Tyler Hero, 3-ball, 0 for 2, Kentucky to start. For Georgia, Turl Jackson, Tyshawn Hightower in the backcourt. Hammonds, Ogbede, and Claxton. Claxton, 6'11", has 50 blocks this season. Good pass, and Ogbede for the flush, and a good start here in Georgia.
Good opening play by Georgia. A naked pick and roll in the middle of the floor to take away any help around the rim.
PJ Washington.
How many times did we hear Tom Crean today say, if we don't hit first, we're going to lose the game? They did not hit first on the last possession in terms of getting the ball off the glass.
Handful here. Travis, he gets that one to go over Ogbede.
You cannot let Travis go left shoulder into that right paw. He is a monster. He plays low and loaded on the box.
Reed Travis as they address the net. Reed Travis, a senior for Kentucky. Rare, obviously, but a transfer from Stanford. They also start a sophomore in PJ Washington, so a little different for Coach Calipari. 3 freshmen, Hagans, Hero, and Keldon Johnson, instead of having your typical 5 freshmen on the floor.
It is a play call every time from Tom Crean. And he's probably got 40 of them right now that he can call.
Tyshawn Hightower takes it himself through traffic, can't get it to go. And the rebound to Keldon Johnson. He'll push and a steal right at midcourt. That's Hammonds, and he takes it himself, and he got a walk. Rayshawn Hammond stepped in front, and then he walked. It took about 6 or 7 steps. It wasn't just a small walk.
No, he didn't walk, he ran. What's the signal for running in basketball?
Tom Crean has certainly generated. How about the excitement that Tom Crean's generated here in Georgia?
Tremendous. What, 2,000 students in the building tonight? Last home game, they crammed 2,700 in here.
There's Claxton with his 51st block of the season, Jimmy.
His length now is a problem because his timing, he keeps his body off of you. That's where his thin body actually plays out really well because that long arm, you can't get into his body, and if you do, there's just not contact.
You guys keep talking about the excitement that Coach Crean has created. A lot of these Georgia players, including Ogbede, telling me today that finally it feels like Kentucky has to rise to their level, not vice versa.
Wow. That's a big statement, Randy.
No doubt. Now, maybe Ogbede said that because he's so tall, and he meant they don't have somebody as big as I am. They got to get up to my level. But we came here right after the Rutledge breakfast. We had the Super Tuesday breakfast. 9:15 a.m. they were lined up outside to get their wristbands to get into the building. 9:15.
The breakfast put together by our cruise director, Laura Rutledge, was on point, was it not?
Certainly was. So's the passing early inside for Georgia. Ogbede's got the first 4.
What is Georgia doing? They're trying to set the rules to how this game's going to be played on the offensive end. They're going to hammer that ball at the power part of the floor, 8 feet and in.
Johnson just got pushed out of the way by Rayshawn Hammonds, and finally Mike Eads said enough. You pushed him far enough. Here's Coach Cal, one of 2 to lead 3 different teams to a Final Four, UMass Memphis and of course this Wildcat team. And a lot of folks began the season thinking they've got a real good chance to get there. They haven't really been consistent yet.
No, they haven't, but they're coming on, especially on the offensive end. Hagens, 2 in blue, has changed this team. That's not his strength. That's the one guy that Georgia's going to go under ball screens is Ashton Hagens in this game.
Neither team very good at three-point shooting, but about 1/3 of each team's shots are three-pointers. Another cut, Claxton, no, with the left hand, and you'll see a lot of lefties tonight on the floor for Georgia. In fact, the team has 6 lefties, which is so aberrational relative to college basketball. And you saw Hammond struggle there as he threw it up with his left. But how about Claxton, Fagan, Hammonds, Harris, Ogbede, and JoJo Toppin? Tom Crean was telling us earlier today he's never had more than 2 on a team.
And when Tom got the job, he said, you know what, look in film, we go left and lefter.
Right.
So he had to really purposely get the ball in the right hand and do a lot of a dribble action and getting them to understand when you go to your offhand, it's all about lowering your shoulders. He talked about with all 3 of us today, a very detailed oriented coach is the guy on the left of the screen.
Yeah, if this were a baseball team, you could have 6 southpaws. You'd have something there.
You would, wouldn't you?
But on a basketball court, it presents some unique benefits and some challenges as well. 5-2 Georgia early here on Super Tuesday.
Kentucky's offense the last couple of weeks has been so good with Hagens getting a piece of the paint.
Boy, Reed Travis strong. Took it right at Ogbede.
That was like Grant Williams from Tennessee in the middle third of the floor.
And he's got that body.
Yes, he does. From the elbow down, Reed Travis is terrific. He chewed people up in the Pac-12 with that similar action that Calipari has now put in this pack.
Wow, Claxton right over him.
He is a problem. You look at the roster as a coaching staff and say the kid's 6'11", about 215. Then you get on the floor and he looks like about a 7'1" guy. Extremely long, and he is a deflection magnet on the defensive end because of it.
3 dunks already for Georgia. Washington tried to go one-on-one, 8 on the shot clock as Hero drives the lane. He lays it up and in.
Yeah, he is so much more than a three-point shooter. He is a baller.
A lot of points in the paint. There's another one. What a dish. And Ogbede off to a great start. His 3rd dunk of the night.
And Ravi, that's all on Kentucky. They score on one end, and where's their transition defense getting back? Within the first 5 seconds of the shot clock, Georgia punches it at the rim.
John Calipari's got Nick Richards at the scorer's table. He's going to come in. Travis lost it, and it'll be a turnover. And Georgia basketball, 3rd turnover for the Wildcats.
When Georgia walked on the floor this morning, we all looked at each other and said that length could be a real problem for Kentucky in this game.
And you'll see 33, Claxton, who's got those 51 blocks, he'll handle the ball a lot. They don't have typical point Guard setup. Once again, they go low to Obede, and he had Hagans on him. That's going to be a foul on Hagans. Good start, sellout crowd. Fired up for the way the Dogs got things rolling early.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Boost Mobile. Boost makes it easy to switch. Switching makes it easy to save.
Land Rover, above and beyond.
Number 33, Claxton, getting 13-9. He's actually a 6'11" point guard. He's a play starter, a playmaker, a downhill driver in that offense. Defensively, he's a deflection star because of that length. He will spin you going right to his left. Only a 21% three-point shooter. You don't have to overreact to him on the perimeter. Claxton at 6'11", hard to guard.
No doubt about it. He's got a bucket early. Obede's got 7, and 14 of the 15 points have been scored in the paint tonight. I mean, the college game has shifted so much to the outside shot, the three-point shot. Rare you've seen 14 of the 15 points in the paint tonight.
You guys are talking about Georgia's points in the paint. That was the exact aggravation for Coach Cal in the Kentucky huddle, saying his emphasis going into this game was to avoid a slow start, which is something they've been dealing with. He said they had to get stops early, and he said we haven't done that. He thinks the main problem is communication defensively. That's led to those points in the paint. Some breakdowns there, guys. We'll see if they get it fixed.
All right, Laura, he's taken Travis out of the game. He's been their offensive star so far, and there's an overplay and a deflection by Washington out of bounds. So the 13 combined shots, only 1 from three-point land for Kentucky.
You go back to Claxton. He's a point guard that can also post up. He leads the team in assists and blocks, and Tom Crean has done a magnificent job of moving him around in the offense.
Going to get a moving screen on that inbounds pass. We'll call that on Claxton. That'll be his first.
Well, the ones you don't want to pick up, because that was just an accidental foul, and he's too important. To me, Georgia changes when he's not on the floor.
Emmanuel quickly, number 5, into the game. Hagans takes a seat. Quickly a very good shooter and beginning to shoot better.
The timeout, Kentucky goes to their circle series, trying to run hero off those baseline screens. Georgia does a nice job of caboosing him all over the floor. Watch out now.
Claxton all the way to the rack, and another dunk for Georgia.
That's hard to guard, isn't it, Ravi?
A Euro step, and the big fella threw it down, 11-6. So yes, this trend continues. Slow starts for Kentucky. Why do you think that is?
Well, I think they're a young team that still, a lot of times they have to think the game. And a lot of times if you're thinking the game the first 4 or 5 minutes, the movement isn't sharp, there's hesitation. And the quick double team now on P.J. Washington. You go back and watch the last couple of games, teams are starting to really run at him with speed and quickness.
That was T-Sean Hightower looking for an assist. He won't get one as the 3 misses from the corner from Hammonds. And they got 2 guys back here, so they got some numbers. And quickly all the way to the rack, and he lays it up and in. 2 Bulldogs got stuck on the defensive end, the offensive end, and it allowed for that run out for Kentucky.
Yeah, good job by Quickly to kind of get to the three-point line, use it as a yield part, like an intersection. And the traffic said, go ahead and attack the rim.
Obede Bull in a China shot just threw Nick Richards to the ground, and that's an offensive foul. Hey, coming up 9 Eastern Time, Super Tuesday, presented by Boost Mobile, Notre Dame and North Carolina. Wow, the Heels won 5 in a row against the Irish, but boy, they get bludgeoned this weekend, Jimmy, by Louisville by 21. So Roy's a little anxious going into this one.
Yeah, I believe they are. I just don't think North Carolina has the defensive chops to win that ACC or make a Final Four run this year. When you give up that many points on your home floor, That's a real concern.
Hagens looking for his first, won't get it there. Richards on the offensive glass. No foul called. Obede wrapped him up.
Georgia did not hit first on their very first possession on this end, but so far after that, they have been the initiator of the contact.
Tower slipped, nearly rolled his ankle. Here's Claxton again. He will have that ball in his hands a lot. A dump off. Oh, and a just missed layup. And a pretty good look, too, was had there by Georgia's Jordan Harris. Back the other way, Kentucky quickly. And just like that, it's a one-point game.
What a pass by Hagens to find Hero streaking down the right side of the floor. Hagens is so fast with the ball, and he's so fast getting rid of the ball.
Well, Baker into the game, 13th for Kentucky now. Long three, Hightower in and out. So their outside shooting has deserted them. The inside game has been the difference. Hagens, corner three, Baker, money. And Kentucky's first lead of the night.
He's an important guy for Kentucky. Quade Green, 42% three-point shooter, transfers out. So what does John Calipari do? He says, okay, Baker, I'm going to give you your shot. You make shots and defend. You're going to get your 12 to 13 minutes of ball game.
Now how does Georgia respond? Three ball goes in, out, and back in for Tishawn Hightower.
Georgia is a unique team. I know they're going to make some threes, but they are a downhill driving team from the 3, the 4, and the 5 spot. Not easy to match up with.
PJ Washington, nothing but nylon.
Right in the face of Claxton, who had that long, outstretched wingspan. And PJ had nothing to do with it. He no longer drops the ball on his three-point attempts like he did last year. Gets it off a lot quicker. Had he dropped that one, Claxton would have erased it.
Here's a steal. Here comes Hagens. Finally gets his first bucket, and that is a big one for Ashton Hagens, given all he's dealing with tonight.
He is the most disruptive defender, not only in the SEC, but maybe in college basketball. He has the green light as a defender, Ravi, to gamble, get steals, hot hands, active hands. He is a handful on the defensive end.
12-3 run for the Wildcats. Hammonds travels again. Nope, we're going to call a jump ball, and the arrow points to Georgia. So they'll keep it as we head to break, Jimmy.
Well, Hagens is a guy that, he's going to get 3 or 4 steals a ball game, and he gets them in different ways, Ravi. You throw to the inside shoulder, that's an automatic 2 for Ashton Hagens. He is a bully.
Introducing Wendy's $5 Giant Junior Bacon Cheeseburger Meal. For $5, this Giant comes with double the beef and bacon, nuggets, fries, and a drink. There's nothing junior about it, except the price. For a limited time.
This is the SEC on ESPN. We've seen Ashton Hagens for Kentucky already have a steal turned into points. So Jimmy Dykes are trying to figure out exactly what he does so well that allows him to have success on the court.
Well, I think it's his mentality. Like if he's guarding you, just give me the mic. You know, and then next thing you do, he takes the basketball from you. And if you have lunch money, he'll take that from you too. He's like a schoolyard bully in that aspect in terms of if you have the ball, he thinks I'm taking the ball from you. It's his mentality, it's his quick hands, hot hands, big hands, and he's a strong kid. And he'll now be throwing the ball.
Can I at least have the mic back? You can take the ball and go back to your place over there. One other thing about Ashton Hagens, he said the reason why he's able to steal the basketball the way that he does is because he played basketball with his older brother, who's 5 years older growing up. His brother was very aggressive, put him in a situation where he would have to be scrappy and fight for every single opportunity with the ball. He thinks that's changed his mentality. I'm glad I got this mic back, Ravi. I didn't think it was going to go.
The mic is good, but the only guy with money still in his pocket is Dykes, because I know somebody sprang for breakfast and someone else sprang for lunch in this crew.
Now he's got more money.
He's loaded. That's good stuff. Thanks, guys. And we're back here. And some substitutions into the game. That's a 3-ball right off the bench.
Wow.
Claxton working the offensive glass. He's going to get fouled. But we're coming and shooting. Tyree Crump launched a 3. Claxton picked up the offensive rebound. He's going to go to the free throw line. And this is something that Tom Crean really stresses and emphasizes. And Nicholas Claxton has yet to kind of put all the pieces together as a 64% free throw shooter.
Watching him today, that one looked pretty good, but he really stares the rim down now for a good 5, 6, 7 seconds. And when else do you do that as a basketball player? You catch it, you get it, you shoot it. At times, I think he almost tenses up a little bit, and that's a long time now to kind of guard yourself and freeze your body. I would loosen him up and try to get it a little bit quicker and not as much eye focus on that rim.
Reed Travis, Hero, they're on the bench. Richards just came up with that block, and now Travis moves to the scorer's table. Hagans, another hard drive. Good ball fake. He got a couple of guys from Georgia in the air. Now he'll go back again, and he'll get fouled and go to the free throw line. So Ashton Hagans asserting himself. Another big SEC, ACC doubleheader, ESPN. I mean, this is good. Glass crashers for Eastern time. Kentucky and Auburn, they love to go to the offensive glass. And then, how about number 1 Duke hosting number 4 and unbeaten Virginia? That's Cameron Indoor in a Sonic blockbuster. Assuming Virginia beats Virginia Tech tonight. But obviously the story, college basketball, one of the big ones with the Blue Devils dealing with the loss of the point guard, Trey Jones, for what appears to be an extended period of time.
That's a major blow, and I'm not so sure that's the most important guy that Duke has on the floor because of his high assist to turnover ratio. I will say this, Duke still has players. Virginia is built to beat Duke. I know it's on Duke's home floor, but they are built to do it because they're not going to turn it over. They're going to make Duke play in that half-court offense. The question mark for me is, how do you handle Zion Williamson still if you're Virginia? Because that's just a different body. That's just a different body altogether.
Nobody handles Zion Williamson.
Duke attempted 43 threes last night in a 45-minute game against Syracuse. That's why I still like Syracuse in an NCAA tournament.
Tyrion will reach the kick. The 3 misses. Georgia's outside shooting has not been good. Everybody on the floor now, and it goes to the Bulldogs. Long 3, Crump off the back iron. Largest lead for Kentucky has now grown to 5, and a chance to increase that.
Georgia's only played zone defense 15% of the time this year. But they have a matchup zone that Joe Scott brought with him as the assistant coach. At some point, we will see it in the game. Kentucky was not pure in their zone offense against Vanderbilt.
Reed Travis was camped out in that 3-point lane, and they're going to get a foul before they get a 3-second call.
I love the fact that your description was Reed Travis was camped out in the lane. John Calipari and I had the discussion today, and I brought in my old buddy Joe Klein, who John Calipari coached in the pros. I said, Joe used to always say, as a post player, I'm going to post up. If the defender's on my back, I'm going to get a 3-second count if you don't throw it to me. Either I shoot it or no one shoots it. And Cal told his guys that story. Reed Travis, PJ, post up deep, hold your spot.
I love it. A rare Joe Klein story.
Yes.
I like that.
Well, I have many, but that's
one of the Joe Klein. I love
Joe
Klein. Great Celtic in his day, Joe Klein. Hero went high, and that's a good offensive tap back.
Yeah, he is a baller, Tyler Hero. He does so many things. Kind of a gambler's mentality defensively, like Hagans has. Keeps balls alive, pull-up jump shot.
PJ Montgomery, active number 23, but Hagans misses. And again, he's gotten the chance to shoot it, just hasn't made him. So Crump pushes, and we're running here. Hero went up for the block instead, a chance for a 3-point play. Very aggressive take from Jordan Harris.
Tom Crean loves fast offense. And this is fast offense from rim to rim. Just 3 dribbles. There's the finish. John Calipari not pleased at all with his conversion defense. The sprint back in there quickly doesn't get ahead of the ball.
And the 3-point play converted.
Cal said after the last game he was exhausted because he has to drag his team sometimes for 2 hours, and it's a young club, and it's going to be one of those drag your teams tonight too, Coach. I hate to tell you.
Isn't that sort of part of the territory sometimes?
Especially with a young team. This is PJ now. That left block, left shoulder, it is usually money.
Call from outside, and it goes against Georgia, so Washington is going to go to the free throw line, and Hammonds now has picked up his second. I mean, Coach Cal's well compensated. I mean, you can drag one night.
Every now and then he can,
Do
yes.
that.
The way Georgia is playing Hagans, they're going underneath everything, and he has taken the bait right now by trying to knock down a couple of 15, 16-foot shots. His guy could also, Hagans' defender, become a double down now on Washington and Reed Travis on that low block.
Washington knocks that one down. It feels like they've weathered that early storm for Georgia.
Yes, absolutely. And how did Georgia get that storm going? They punched that ball around the rim in the paint. And look for this play call to be something that gets a white jersey with the ball going forward.
Here comes Hero, and he goes one-on-one foul, and he misses that one. But he'll go to the free throw line to shoot two. Georgia, after a terrific start, a little sloppy here the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, the speed of Kentucky is off and running, and that's how they weathered the storm. The playmaking ability of Hero is very undervalued, Ravi, just like that last steal. He has a gambler's mentality as well, something this Kentucky team needs more of.
It won't help you drive or pivot. It won't improve your shot because it's not a shoe. It's life insurance. With John Hancock Vitality, the healthy things you do earn you discounts and rewards.
First, we huff.
Then we puff. Then we blow the house down.
Ow!
Bullish on the Vols, no doubt about that. Thank you, Seth. Good to see Adnan back in the studio. Adnan was rubbing elbows with some movie stars, which is actually it's what the movie stars like to say. We rubbed elbows with Adnan this weekend. Works both ways.
What I saw on Twitter, I had Tennessee at Florida Saturday night, and Florida would have beaten probably 95% of the teams in college ball that night. That building was electric, and Tennessee, not on our watch. They pounded that thing inside, and I know Rick wasn't pleased with his kids doing the Gator Chomp afterwards, but it also gives you a little bit of insight how Tennessee's wired this year.
Yeah, their mentality.
Big boy basketball.
Attitude like Rutledge has.
Yes.
Yeah, guys, big boy basketball all around. And that's actually what Coach Crean wants to see more of from his guys. He talked earlier today about making them believe that they could win this game. And that was the message in that huddle just now, telling them, look, we were hanging with them. We were dominating them physically early on in this game. We have to get back to that, but also making note of the sloppiness, telling them to be careful with the basketball, cannot afford any more turnovers, he said.
Obede, who has the ball now, was a beast early on with his presence inside. Started the game with 4 dunks, and they 3 balls have missed badly. They are 1 of 7 from three-point land. We're going to launch another one, and that one is in and out. 1 of 8 from 3 for Georgia.
Kentucky's been perfect in transition in this game.
Hagans misses again with the left. A little frustrating start for Ashton Hagans. There's a good take. That was important for Ty Fagan from Georgia.
That was the first miss in transition for Kentucky on that last attempt. Georgia, I like them out and running right now in this ballgame because their half-court offense. Kentucky dialed in now, not letting that ball get reversed side to side and keeping the bigs of Georgia from driving it. And they are a downhill driving team with their bigs.
Washington,
watch out,
all the way. P.J. Washington had it in the corner and gave up the 3 for a slam dunk. 2, he's got a half a dozen.
P.J. Washington made a play out of the corner as opposed to settling for a shot out of the corner. Weak side defense for Georgia, non-existent.
What does Georgia have to do to get back into that offensive flow they had early?
Gosh, get physical and get guys posted up around the rim. Spread the thing out and let guys like Obede and Claxton do what they've been doing all year, driving the ball.
Jackson with a good ball fake there, and he freed himself up for a 2. That time Jackson didn't pass into the corner for a 3. Defense bit. And they hit the open jumper. 25-22, 5:50 to go. Travis on Ogbede, got right by him and lays it up and lays it in. Offensively, Reed Travis's game tonight has been on point.
Cal went right to his punch call, and punch call is get that thing to the box. Travis actually caught it about 3 steps outside of where he wanted to, but his quickness now is really undervalued in terms of his ability to drive another big.
Long three, that one finds the bottom. Jordan Harris. Reed Travis having himself a good game. He, of course, transferred from Stanford. When he gets to Lexington, he's in a supermarket as he launches a three. A woman he described as a grandma came up and hugged him and said, "Thanks for coming." Little different world when you're playing Kentucky basketball, and he got a chance to experience that.
Yeah, and Ravi, Coach Cal felt like actually that Reed Travis has been pressing a little bit, maybe putting a little too much pressure on himself to perform for this team. Actually sat him down, talked to him, told him not to spend so much time in the gym, wanted him to rest his body. Also told him to shoot higher, said too many of his shots were being blocked. He said just focus on shooting a little higher and see if you get a little more action going offensively.
Claxton, nice move. Laura, thank you very much. Travis is one of those who's prone more to reading. He's reading like books, like The Outliers and other things, while most of his teammates, much younger, are into the video games. That's not Reed Travis's world. Start to see Georgia play a little more assertive, both offensively and defensively, and they have driven to the hoop with Claxton most recently. Ogbede, he's a lefty, goes with his right hand and draws nothing but the backboard. PJ Washington got it. Boy, his stroke looks good.
Yes, again, he caught it and went straight up with it. Last year, Ravi, he would catch it at the catch spot and drop the ball below his waist. It was a slow release, an inconsistent release. Not anymore.
And his body has changed too, huh?
Yes.
Thinned out, bulked up a little bit.
Quicker, but still physical enough to cause 33 and White some problems in this game.
Ogbede thinking about going one-on-one again.
Georgia operating out of the slot. They have a lot of different places they like to play out of. Plays out of the corner, plays out of the slots.
High arcing three, no good. Obede's there. He's now on the ground with Fagan, whose ball is it. It's Kentucky ball.
I mentioned earlier that Tom Crean likes to move Nick Claxton around. Well, this time they're going to put him at the top of the key. A little bit of an overplay by P.J. Washington, and Claxton read it really well. Now, he did travel, but it's still a great read by Claxton. There's what I'm talking about, P.J. Washington, Ravi. The catch, the release, the rotation, and the result. Well done, 25 in blue.
With all that USAA offers, why go with anybody else? We know their rates are good. We know that they're always going to take care of us.
It was an instant savings, and I should have changed a long time ago.
We're the Tennies, and we're USAA members for life.
Call USAA to start saving on insurance today.
Well, I went through your return line by line, and everything looks great.
Oh, good. Thanks. Just so you know, my income won't always be this modest.
No worries. We're here to help.
But I got a lot of things happening, so next year it should be pretty impressive.
Yeah? Good for you.
I'm actually calling you from my yacht.
You're not in a yacht, you're in a conference room.
What was that?
Nothing. Just, one of my sailors.
You know they can't see you, right?
Is that true?
Oh, she's right.
You kidding me? Spent $9 on this coconut.
TurboTax Live, now with CPAs on demand.
And no doubt about that. He was telling us about his mom earlier today, and unfortunately and sadly, it appears to be just a matter of time now before she passes. He left. He said he didn't attend his first practice. I think Thursday he went to be with her, and that was the first time he missed a practice. So he's got a lot on his mind, trying to stay as focused as he can on his kids and the program while dealing with that. That was pregame when he and Coach Calipari embraced, and it appeared at that point as if John had said and shared his feelings and thoughts at that moment. Hero misses that one.
Ravi, it was obvious when he was talking to U9 Laura that it was obviously heavy on his heart and on his mind. But there's so much anyways for a coach to deal with. The length of this kid now, it's a problem for Kentucky. It's a problem for the SEC. He's quick, he's active, he is extremely long. And he sees the play, one pass ahead, like a 6-foot point guard.
He's only a sophomore, 6'11". Mark Fox did bring some really talented players here to Georgia before he left. And you wonder when Hagans was going to knock one down. Two-pointer, not a three. But if they're going to keep giving you that shot, he's going to keep shooting it, isn't he?
Yes, he has to take it because there's nothing wrong with his stroke. It's not broke. It comes off his hand really well. It's just a confidence level. Interesting that Georgia doesn't have a true point guard. It may actually help them tonight because Hagans now can't be quite as disruptive.
The three-ball misses, and again, their struggles from the outside continue.
Does that make sense? Because Georgia starts it with different guys. So Hagans now is more of an off-ball defender than an on-ball. Wow.
How about that shot by Hagans? He got fouled by Ogbede, and he has started to impose his will on this game.
Hagans has that explosive first step, and he lowers himself with a big stride. It's not easy to do. He's a big, strong cat around that rim. And he got on the floor as an on-ball disruptive defender. That then developed into an off-ball, chase guys around in the UNC Greensboro game. And all that defensive confidence has also funneled now to the offensive end, where he's a paint-touch pass guy and a paint-touch hard layup maker.
Right. Went to high school about 50 miles away from the University of Georgia. Grew up about 100 miles away. Always really wanted to play for the Bulldogs, but he also loved watching people like John Wall play for Kentucky.
Yeah.
So when Fox left, he decommitted. And the family reached out to Kentucky, and that's really what began that relationship. He's not Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, but it is amazing how the development of Alexander last year, and you're seeing similar development from Hagans. Defensively, he's a star.
Shai was more of an off-ball, get steals. This kid gets them everywhere. He gets outlet passes. He blows up the ball. He blows up dribble handoffs. A game changer is 2 and blue on defense.
Pretty move by Hightower. We're going to get a foul. And he's going to go to the free throw line to shoot 2. There are certain schools you associate with certain positions, and certainly point guard has been one of Kentucky's strengths. So if you're a top point guard in the country and you got a chance to go play there, it's Hagans and his family. He's got about 19 or 20 or so family members and friends here in the audience tonight. You're going to try to go to Kentucky, right, Laura?
Yeah, guys, it was interesting because Hagans said earlier on, and there you see his dad, that he was really expecting about 19 to 20 family members, as you said. But one of the things that was craziest to him is that he remembered being in this very gym around 2010 watching John Wall play for Kentucky. And at that time, of course, he was thinking about Georgia and thinking about that would be his school. He never imagined that he would play for Kentucky at that time. He even played football back then. He played quarterback, cornerback, a little bit of running back as well, and wasn't even that focused on basketball until a little later. So he remembers sitting in this stadium. He said it was surreal being in here earlier on today for shoot around and thinking about how far he's come since that time in 2010.
And he has come a long way, no doubt about that, Laura. He was also recruited to Kentucky by guys like Keldon Johnson and others, some including Quickly, who would recognize, I'm going to give up some playing time if we get Hagans to come play here. But if we're going to go program before individual, we'd probably be better off with Ashton Hagans wearing blue.
Absolutely. A matchup zone by Georgia. Kentucky doesn't handle it at all. A turnover in the backcourt. Just no one organized on the offensive set that time for Kentucky against the zone. When you have to change what you do offensively for a particular player, Tom Crean said it today. No dribble handoffs in this ball game, especially when Hagans is involved. He will blow it up and it will be a layup on the other end. That's how much of an impact he has. He changes what you want to do offensively, and there's a very short list of guys in college ball that you game plan like that for.
Rollridge misses, so they're outside shooting now 3 of 14. How about this, too? I know the coach back in the studio would love it. That turnover we just saw was their first since the 14:58 mark. We're under a minute. That's how well they've kept the ball under control. And Hagans is going to launch another one off the front of the iron. Nick Richards is there to finish it on the offensive rebound.
Nick Richards was going to the front of the rim before Hagans released the basketball. Georgia has taken too many threes in this first half.
30-second timeout. Kentucky leads it by 4. Georgia sets up their final play. We got 19.6 on the clock.
I'm a little bit country.
Oh, and I'm a little bit rock and roll.
I'm a little bit of Memphis and Nashville.
With a little bit of Motown in my soul. I don't know if it's good or bad.
But I know I love it so.
With a little bit of country,
a little bit of rock and roll.
The all-new Chevy Silverado. It's a little bit country, and it's a little bit rock and roll.
Welcome back. Georgia Bulldogs. Of course, Maria Taylor, David Pollock of ESPN both attended Georgia. As we take a look at our Saturday schedule, NBA, Thunder Sixers, then the Virginia Duke game at 6 Eastern Time. Hey, Fight Night UFC at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Looking forward to UFC on ESPN and the Plus app. Lakers and Rockets, 8:30 ABC. And Cejudo and Dillashaw, UFC on the Plus app, 10 o'clock Eastern Time.
Virginia's talent is better than they get recognition for. They've taken some shots that they don't have the talent of a Duke or a Kansas or Kentucky. They got better players now than people realize. DeAndre Hunter's a lottery pick, and Jerome and Guy up top are the big guards. That is a hard to beat team. That'll be Georgia all year long. They're a downhill driving team from the 3, the 4, and the 5 spot. They've got to get back to who they are. And Tom will probably talk about the number of threes that they've taken in the first half and get back to turn this thing into a fist fight.
7.6 to go. Top drive. There's Richards with a block. Kentucky will have to shoot it from 76 feet away, and no.
Thought we had another Elijah
We
Hughes.
saw one last night from Syracuse from nearly the same spot. And Hagans misses that one, but a good first half for Ashton Hagans after a slow start. He ends up with 8 points, 2 assists, and no turnovers. They did fall behind, and then they were able to bounce back and now go to the locker room with a 4-point lead. Laura?
All right, Coach, how has your team handled Georgia's fast offense?
We've done all right, but we've given them 7 dunks, layups. When you look at the score, you can't afford to give that many up. We're not denying. My man denies, gives them a back door. Simple interchange, they get a dunk. We try to switch, they don't, they get a dunk. I mean, you get 5 of those kind of baskets, makes it hard, so we're in a dogfight.
How has Ashton Hagans handled this situation?
Doing good.
Thanks, Coach. Ravi.
Thank you, Laura, very much. Number 12, Kentucky against Georgia. Kentucky up 35-31, and the leading scorer at the half. Hagans with 8's been outstanding. We'll continue the halftime report. Dodge halftime with Adnan, Seth, and Jay after this.
You're watching Super Tuesday, presented by Boost Mobile. This is the SEC on ESPN, and back here in Athens, the second half about to begin. Kentucky leading 35-31 over Georgia. Just spoke to Georgia head coach Tom Crean, who said his message at halftime was, we have to post up more. They were able to score inside early in this game, and he said they have to really prevent Kentucky from getting their right hands and left shoulders through the lane. They have to get the cut game going a lot better. Ravi, Jimmy, they want to get back inside. That's the main point here.
Not a bad idea. They had 5 dunks in the first 5 minutes and 45 seconds, and none after that, Jimmy.
Well, that's how they got the lead to start with, and Tom Crean knows you've got to win the power part of the floor, whether it's a home game, a road game, or a neutral floor game, and you got to start punching that paint again if you're Georgia. So expect a heavy dose of the first 4 or 5 minutes. They took 13 threes in the first half, Georgia did. They are a team that averages 25 per game, but in this game, they're having success with hard back cuts from the 3, the 4, and the 5 spot, getting that ball around the rim. You would expect Georgia, as well as their coach, to come out in this half to reestablish that part of the floor. If you're Kentucky, Cal told Laura going to the locker room, overplaying right now, maybe not the best idea because it's a very good back-cutting Georgia team. A chess match, but I like how Kentucky's offense right now, Ravi. They've only fired up 5 threes in this game.
Right.
On the road, that's how you win. In the paint, on the glass, get to that free throw line.
Both teams' leading scorers, Rayshawn Hammonds and Keldon Johnson, 0 points in the first half. Both teams' leading scorers didn't score in the first half. Hammonds has done that a bunch lately. In fact, 3 of the last 4 games, he's been shut out in the first half. He then had 19 in the second half in a win against Vanderbilt. We'll see if Rayshawn Hammonds can get going. Reed Travis had a good first half. He's got good position down low. No foul called. P.J. Washington, the offensive rebound, but because it didn't hit the rim, that's a shot clock violation.
Reed Travis continues to struggle with length between himself and the rim. And that time he got a little rushed over it. He's not an explosive above the rim guy. He's a power, must get an angle guy, and he's much better on the left block coming to his left shoulder for that right ball.
Coach Calipari pleading his case. He said, my guy wouldn't miss the entire basket from 3 feet away unless there was a foul. The ball was not blocked. Working inside, and there's a miss, and an uncontested defensive rebound for P.J. Washington. How important the first few minutes here.
Critical. And Georgia set the rules how the game's going to be played the first 3 or 4 minutes. They have to reset them now to start this second half.
There are the zeros for Johnson and Hammonds. Only 1 shot for Rayshawn Hammonds in the first half. This is Keldon Johnson. There's 3 on the shot clock. We're going to have to get this up. It's going to be Hagans. Big shot from Ashton Hagans.
He is a much better shooter, Hagans is, than even he realized. There was nothing at all wrong, mechanically wrong, with a stroke of that ball that he just shot.
Hammonds to a cutting Claxton. Washington takes a hard fall. We'll see if he's okay. He went up to block a shot. Claxton kept the ball in his hand. It's going to be the 3rd foul. It looks like he's okay, but that's the 3rd foul on Washington, and he obviously lands awkwardly on that right elbow, right shoulder, right arm.
Hard fall, wasn't it? In that right hip area. Where's Claxton at the rim on out-of-bounds play? There he goes.
Comes in for P.J. Washington.
Is a play call certainly in the second half as Tom has his team right in front of his bench. It will be a play call every trip down.
How about Rayshawn Hammonds? Can't get it to go, and he's remained scoreless. Hagans trying to push through everybody, lays it up at the rim, and what a start for Ashton Hagans. 5 quick ones. Largest lead of the night for the Wildcats goes to 9. Hagans has 13.
He has beep speed. And he had speed in traffic, Ravi. That's not easy to do. Watch the push of this kid, 2 in blue. First of all, this is only the second 3-point shot he's made, but the rotation is really good on that ball. He'll have no problem at all with him taking perimeter jump shots. Then the push ahead, the speed to push it out and run it down. Well done, 2 in blue.
Well, the squirrels are back in the attic.
Mom?
Your dad won't call an exterminator.
Can I call you back, Mom?
He says it's personal this time.
If you're a mom, you call it the worst time. That's what you do. If you want to save 15% or more on car insurance, you switch to Geico. It's what you do.
Where are you? It's very loud there. Are you taking a Zumba class?
After months of wearing only a tiger costume, we're finally going on the trip I've been promising. Because with Expedia, I saved when I added a hotel to our flight. So even when she outgrows her costume, we'll never outgrow the memory of our adventure together.
Unlock savings when you add select hotels to your existing trip. Only when you book with Expedia.
With Notre Dame guard TJ Gibbs, the Irish coming off their first conference win Saturday over Boston College. TJ, what do the Irish got to do to steal a win here on the road tonight?
We have to play within ourselves. We have to make sure we stop the transition buckets, and we have to just make sure that we're getting good shots every time down.
Notre Dame, Carolina, coming up after Kentucky, Georgia on ESPN.
All right, thanks, Brooke Rice-Broad. We will see you after this game. And just hearing from Coach Cal in Kentucky's huddle, actually praising his guys for a better start to a half. Of course, they've been really trying to work on the way that they start halves, whether it's the first or the second, but also still wants more communication defensively. He said because of the lack of communication there, P.J. Washington picked up his third foul. That's not good. Also talking about zone offense here, guys, in case Georgia changes up their defense and goes to more of a zone.
Yeah, they had success, did Vanderbilt against Kentucky that way for a while. And that was a win, good hard-fought win for Kentucky. They got a tough road game coming up this weekend against Auburn as well. How about the help there from Higgins? He's out ahead, he's got a trailer, but he'll take it himself. And Ashton Higgins is now within one of his season high.
That's like me taking the microphone from Laura Rutledge. He saw it, he wanted it, he got it, boom, to the other end. You have to know where 2 in blue is at all times. Reed did a terrific job, first of all, of throwing up a good hard wall and allowed Higgins to read it and come in from behind. Two-person takeaway by Kentucky defensively.
There's a turnover. Tried to get that interior pass to go, but they couldn't. Another turnover.
Look at Reed Travis hold his ground and allow Higgins to read to come in behind on the right side. He is so gifted in terms of his quickness, and he has really big, hot hands around the ball. It's amazing how many times he gets steals without fouling.
Keldon Johnson posting up Hammonds, looking to get his first bucket of the night. Instead, it's E.J. Montgomery on the other side. How about that little lefty jumper, no good. And Georgia, with 8 turnovers, comes down with it. Trying to get their first bucket of the second half.
Kentucky was back cut 3 or 4 times in the first half for a dunk. And right now their defensive position off the ball has kind of adjusted, and that's what good teams do, Ravi. They adjust during the game. They fix the problem within the problem.
Hightower at the buzzer, no good. So still scoreless here in the second half, and we're almost 4 minutes in.
This thing's getting away from Georgia. I would expect Tom Crean to try his zone defense again within the next couple of minutes. Watch out. Yeah. All because of Higgins, his ability to punch the paint and find the backside of the play. Very well done.
9-0 run to start the second half for the Wildcats. Offense, which came easy for Georgia in the first half, is not this second half. Another turnover. And it feels like a Kentucky avalanche to start this second half. 13-point lead, 15:50 to go. Kentucky and Georgia. Super Tuesday on ESPN.
I did a lot of research into DNA tests. Most can tell the continent or country that your ancestors are from, but Ancestry DNA showed me the specific places they called home.
20 million members have connected to a deeper family story. Order your kit at Ancestry.com.
Hi. Hi. Oh, we all just got new smartphones at Cricket. Hi. Hi. Hola. Hi. Hi. Okay, bye. Bye.
Time now to take a look at From Plan to Play, brought to you by Northwestern Mutual.
Well, Ashton Higgins with 15 points, 3 assists, and no turnovers. He has gravity ability. Watch this right here. Stop it, guys. Look, the gravity ability is right there. His ability to attract defense to him. Then he finds the backside of play from Montgomery, who's an easy one bounce, 2 big steps to the rim. Ashton Higgins, his instincts are to put his head down and go make a play. He plays to his strengths, but that's an accelerated play route because he found the backside of the play as opposed to the ball getting stuck in his hands on the same side of the floor. And that's just Ashton Higgins continuing to grow up now as a point guard.
He was the story of the night coming into this one. The Georgia commit who decommitted when Mark Fox left. Eventually got his name into the Kentucky hat. Kentucky, who Knew they needed a point guard after Gilgeous Alexander left. Said, of course, we'd love to have Ashton Hagans come play for us. And as a result, you can see this burgeoning superstar here, and the relationship has been tremendous for Kentucky and Ashton Hagans. Georgia hasn't scored in the last 6 minutes almost. Claxton will fire up a three. That won't go. And we'll go the other way. Offensive rebound and a foul. It looks like they're going to call it on Obede, and they are. Our NBA Wednesday double dip tips off in Boston. A big one. Kawhi and the Raptors. They've been great against Kyrie and the Celtics. They haven't. That's 8 Eastern time. And then Oracle for Anthony Davis, the former Kentucky Wildcat, and the Pelicans battling Steph, KD, and the Warriors. So you got Anthony Davis. You saw the 27 and 27 performance the other night from another former Wildcat. You see Knox had 31 for the Knicks the other night.
Tom Crean knows he has to change the game, so he goes to his matchup zone right now. He can't keep playing straight man. He has to do something to change the game for a 3 or 4 minute stretch. Maybe the zone defense gets Georgia back in this thing.
They still have time on the shot clock. Nick Richards, a foul line jump shot, misses. Hammond steps into a three that time. He got fouled, Montgomery, so he will shoot 3 free throws. The frustration there from Coach Calipari.
You know, Kentucky's defense from the three-point line has not been good. One of the worst teams in college basketball defending the three. And you go back and break down their films, there's 5 or 6 ways you don't defend the three. And Kentucky finds a way to do every one of those things once per game. It's a not of attention to detail in a scouting report, knowing personnel. Fouling a three-point trail shooter. Chasing a guy that you should be chasing in terms of how fast you should get there or going under. Kentucky, again, it's just, they're young. They're going to have to grow through it.
All right, Hammond's at the free throw line. One thing their coach knows is free throw shooting. He gave us a little demonstration earlier today.
The biggest thing to me, before your follow-through, is are you getting your shoulders forward? So you get your breath, you get your balance, you find your dribble, but you've got to get your shoulders forward, because every time you're straight up and the shoulders go up and back, you're basically shooting against your body, and it's almost like fading away.
Did he do what he had said, or was that just a good free throw shooter making a good free throw shot?
No, he did. And Tom Crean's a guy that teaches free throw shooting like I do. You start them off on the nail and then adjust their stroke from there. And he actually stood behind his guys today in that free throw part of practice, just making sure that their ball side was lined up with the front of the rim. That is so important.
Tip in there, looked like Hammonds may have gotten that one, and he did. So all of a sudden, Georgia, a little burst, and they got their first points on a foul three-point attempt.
And Tom goes back to his man-to-man defense. You better tag Hero right now and not let him come off those baseline screens.
Washington with his 3 fouls back in the game. Quickly, 3, no good. And the offensive rebound will stay with Kentucky.
New clock, plenty of time, no need to panic. What was that?
Not a good shot.
No, you got a brand new shot clock. And PJ drove that thing from 35 feet away. Calipari's asking the same question. What are you doing?
Georgia basketball. And PJ's a sophomore. It's not as if he's a brand new player in this group of Kentucky Wildcats.
Well, Crean has tried to change the game now. He's gone zone for possession. And now that last possession of man-to-man was so much hotter.
Yeah.
Really getting out, trying to light up that basketball, maybe trying to speed Kentucky up on the offensive end.
You're surprised they haven't done more as Claxton tries to go baseline and got stuck there. And they're going to get a foul on Nick Richards. You surprised they didn't use more zone defense, given that Vanderbilt played Kentucky 40 minutes of zone defense and it seemed to mess them up?
Yes, I am. And with 13:47 to go, you may see some changing defenses now from Tom Crean in terms of trying to keep Kentucky out of rhythm. This kid is a spinner. Talking about Claxton, he's a drive right, spin back on, you get that thing to the left hand. And Kentucky has to understand when he's a driver, that help has to come down and get on that spin move. And he is hard to guard, 33 in white.
Free throw shooting, though, continues to be a struggle for Claxton. He misses that one, and he missed it badly. So just think, we just saw Tom Crean talked about the connectivity and the one motion and the shoulders going forward and not back. Why does Claxton struggle?
I think he stares at the rim too long. Watch this. He's going to lock right now. He's already locked in. And that's a long time to stare in, and you can kind of guard yourself and get tense and tight.
I counted 8 seconds.
Yeah, now he made it, but when else in basketball do you look at the rim for 8 seconds before you shoot? You don't. It's a reaction. Shooting is a reaction, one motion thing, and I think it would help him out and smooth him out a little bit.
To be a little quicker. But if you could take 8 seconds every time you shot the ball, would you do it? No defense?
Oh, yeah.
You do it?
Yeah, you'd be wide open, yeah. Now, if you go beyond 10 from the free throw line, it's illegal.
Wow.
That's what he can do for you. He's a 6'4" guy. They can jump up and make shots. Only 29% right now, but he's a much better three-point shooter than those percentages show.
Kind of a dagger three from Jamar Baker. Claxton and Travis, a lot of body action going on there. They're going to go foul on Reed Travis. As they go to the free throw line, remind everybody, Sports Center tonight after Notre Dame, Carolina. Kenny Mayne, John Anderson, 3-2-1. Legner's going to be there to break down the Warriors Nuggets. They'll have reactions from Philadelphia. Jimmy Butler and the Sixers hosting the T-Wolves. Shocking that Jimmy Butler and the Sixers are having some issues. And Breeze and Brady just kind of keep turning that clock back. Sports Center, 11 p.m. Eastern, ESPN and the ESPN app. Harris, good help from P.J. Washington. That led to a turnover. Quickly pulls up. 2 back-to-back there. You had P.J.'s drive and that shot, not ones Calipari wanted. Long three, and that one goes down. And one thing that Tyree Crump can do, a little microwave action when he gets it going. He can light it up.
And Ravi, that's a personnel breakdown by Kentucky. You know Crump is a deep three transition guy that you have to match higher in transition.
Claxton the overplay. Watch Crump! Off the front of the iron.
It was right there though, wasn't it?
It was. Trying to go all Vinnie Johnson on us. The microwave. The old Detroit Piston player. Sellout crowd here at the Stegman Coliseum getting into it, trying to rally this defense. Again, 8 on the shot clock. They've got it in the hands of Hagans.
Kentucky's done nothing this possession offensively.
Hagans, good ball fake, and wow, was that special. Ashton Hagans is feeling it now.
There was no shot clock pressure on Ashton Hagans. The little lift up and the change of direction. The floater in this game is really good. It keeps the shot blockers of Georgia from getting to the basketball.
Right before our eyes, we're seeing the continued development of Hagans. High arcing three halfway down. And Crump now 1 for his last 3. Now that ball is attached to the hands of Hagans. They get it inside to Reed. PJ misses the follow. And here comes Crump.
There's that link that will bother Reed Travis around the rim. Long time to get into this play call from Tom Crean on the sidelines.
Claxton all the way to the rack, and he's going to get called. Now a turnover for Georgia. Stays 10. They were within 10 with Auburn. Coach said, I felt like we could win it the whole time. Does he feel that way tonight? Down 10 to Kentucky.
Great. So your kid will be just fine.
We have 2.
But I'm only one babysitter.
Networks like babysitters should never be just okay. AT&T is America's best wireless network according to America's biggest test. Now with 5GE.
Wow, what a nice place. All right, Grandma, what are you doing here? Eat. Okay. I'll see you on Sunday. Bye-bye.
Make it where you want.
Number 2, Ashton Hagans from Kentucky. Over the last 5 ball games, he's had at least 3 steals. He is a disruptive defender. Where is number 2? That's one of the questions that Georgia needs to think as soon as they get the ball tonight, because number 2 has the green light defensively. He's a gambler on the ball and off the ball, a paint touch guy on the offensive end. For a freshman point guard on the road, Ravi, this is a major story in tonight's game.
All right, take a look at who's flipping the switch. It's brought to you by Boost Mobile. And Jimmy, this is now Ashton Hagen's team. You can feel that. You can see it.
Yeah, and it's a kid that is still so young for his position. What I like, he's gone on the road in this building. The crowd's been trying to wear him out, but he has ignored the noise as well as you can. He has taken 12 two-point shots in this game. So Georgia cannot keep him out of the paint. He's taking the ball wherever he wants to go right now in this game.
Georgia head coach Tom Crean, guys, in the Georgia huddle just now, reassuring his players, looking at their faces and saying, guys, just calm down. We're fine. This is a long game. We still have over 10 minutes left. Just get back to playing the way that we did in the beginning part of the game. Feels like they've been chasing that, guys, since the beginning part of the game.
Back to that 2-3 zone look. They're chasing Keldon Johnson, who doesn't have a point yet tonight. And his season low is 8 points. He doesn't have a point tonight for Kentucky.
Yeah, it's a lot of switching man-to-man, and Kentucky doesn't realize it just does a lot of standing to start the possession. Wow, that's a game changer right there.
That's impossible to stop.
It is. If he starts making that shot, and again, Kentucky's so good with their bigs on the left block, coming left shoulder for the right-hand finish.
The Nick Richards jump hook and the Kyle Alexander little turnaround fadeaway in the paint.
Yes.
Impossible to stop.
Yeah, and the Grant Williams pull-up 12-foot shot.
The Grant Williams anything, but yes.
Yeah, Grant Williams anything. They're putting a beat down on Arkansas at halftime tonight, weren't they?
Yeah, Hagen steps into a three, in and out. And a rebound for Georgia. They got a man ahead of the field. They get it to him. How about that defense? And then the block from behind by Richards. Now it's Hagen's turn. And he dunks it.
That was a block assist by Nick Richards. You can have a screen assist, and this time it's a block assist. He's almost a disruptive defender at the rim like Hagens is on the ball.
Hagen's 19, a season high. Coach Calipari says if we're going to win a national championship, we need Richards to be a rim protector.
Absolutely.
We just saw. Contested three, no good. Offensive foul on Obede.
Nick Richards is extremely quick to come in as the third defender, not the second defender, the third defender to erase it. And then the throw ahead for Hagens, and his speed just, it jumps out. There's NBA scouts here tonight talking to me before the ball game, and so impressed with this kid who's still a couple years away from being there. But Nick Richards now doesn't have to be a high volume scorer, but if he can be that, not only a rim protector, Ravi, but a paint protector. That's how long and wide and quick this kid is.
6'11", 244. He got the block there, but Baker played terrific defense. And he forced Jackson into a shot that was really easily blocked by Nick Richards.
Yes. Still no points tonight for Keldon Johnson.
How about Hagen? Alley-oop, look out below, E.J. Montgomery. Look at the smile on Hagen's face. Look at how much joy he's playing with here. The former commit to Georgia is enjoying himself on a floor he used to come watch Georgia play.
It's all about Ashton Hagens taking the ball anywhere he wants, anytime he wants in this game. His offense is set up off of his ability to get paint punch after paint punch after paint punch. And Calipari, even back to his Memphis days, they are so good at the big, finding the opposite side of the rim for the easy throw up and the easy punch down.
Jimmy, 9 o'clock Eastern Time, Super Tuesday rolls on. It's presented by Boost Mobile. Notre Dame and North Carolina from Chapel Hill. Heels have won the last 5 against the Irish. And you can always watch it on the ESPN app from anywhere. But like Dykes getting out there and saying Carolina currently doesn't have the defensive chops to get to a Final Four, win a championship.
I don't think they do. I mean, you allow Louisville to come in. I think they shot 52% from the field, 53% Louisville did that ball game, 42% from the three-point line. And that's not what great teams do.
You're all about Virginia. You're all about Tennessee.
Yes.
You're about Duke.
Yes, teams that, because Duke guards you.
Michigan.
Yeah, teams that guard you. Look at that National Coach of the Year race right now. I'll give you 3 names. John Beilein at Michigan, Chris Beard at Texas Tech, and Kermit Davis at Ole Miss.
Yeah, Ole Miss.
He has to be in that conversation right now.
Good game tonight on the SEC Network at 9, Ole Miss and LSU.
How did Tom Crean try to change this game in that last timeout?
He begged Hammonds to make a shot. Rayshawn Hammonds knocks down a 3.
Trusty 42% on the year. Now can Georgia get back-to-back stops and back-to-back makes to put more game pressure on Big Blue?
Look at how tough this game is. Watching Hagans, who again originally committed to Georgia, could have been wearing that uniform. How tough this one is for the folks here to watch him do that. Good hustle by Montgomery, and out of bounds was Hemmons, so it'll stay with Kentucky. Good hustle there. One of the things that Coach Calipari talked about, the 50-50 balls and how we've got to win those. There have been games where we haven't won those and we've struggled. That's one of those.
I believe that's Kentucky's 11th or 12th offensive rebound. Georgia is not hitting Kentucky first, allowing Kentucky to get a running start on that offensive glass.
Hagans lost it out of bounds. Kentucky came into this game having won 11 in a row against Georgia. Whistle and a hold underneath. Get a foul on Kentucky. Call that on Montgomery. We'll take a timeout. Ashton Hagans' great night continues. 13-point lead, exactly 8 minutes to go in the second half.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by Boost Mobile. Boost makes it easy to switch. Switching makes it easy to save.
Alexa, dim the lights.
Okay.
Alexa, drop in on Charlie.
The unmistakable Cadillac XT4. Once again, driving is joyful. Starting under $36,000.
Thanks so much, Adnan. And back here in Athens, Coach Cal was telling us earlier before this game began that he felt like this would be a great litmus test for where Kentucky is in this season, saying that last win that they had, of course, their last game against Vanderbilt, Vandy plays such a different style than Georgia. He really wanted to see how they handled Georgia's style, a little more quicker pace offensively. He said he'd know a lot more about his team following this one, and he felt like Georgia could be physical. Guys, we've seen a little bit of that tonight, certainly.
No doubt. Hammonds launches another three. That one is off, and Hero gets the rebound. I'd be most encouraged if I'm Kentucky by the fact that Johnson and Hero really haven't done much offensively at all. And you continue to see the development of Hagans and the impact he's having.
Absolutely. We saw it last Tuesday night, right? Tennessee goes on the road and beats Missouri, and Grant Williams was a no-show.
Right.
That's a sign of a powerful team. I'll tell you another sign. Kentucky has taken 42 two-point shots in this game. Georgia has only taken 22.
Three-point shot, they're within 10. Instead of two and a bullish drive. And that'll send Georgia to the free throw line. Tyrion Wilridge. So we got Auburn, tough game at Auburn Saturday. Mississippi State, 74% chance. Kansas, 62% chance to win. And the difference is home, and road. I mean, that's such a big story in college basketball. This is a great example of why it is 74% chance to beat a 24th ranked team because you're playing at home. 62% against Kansas.
Yeah, how about that?
And yet you're all the way down to 31 on the road at Auburn.
Not surprised they're favored, just the the percentage there. Here's what you better do against Auburn if you're Kentucky. First of all, you better play your tails off. Those dudes play extremely hard, and against Auburn, if you guard the ball, you'll guard their threes, and then don't turn it over. Now, those three things are a must if you're going to go to Auburn and win that ball game.
And Auburn will launch and launch.
Yes, they will.
Relaunch. Just keep firing them up. Similar to Georgia tonight, Georgia's just not making any of them. Travis got buried down low, and there's a block by Claxton, another one.
The length has chewed up Reed Travis in this game around the rim.
Nice move by Hammonds. Back within 11 with 6:30 to go. All of a sudden, Hammonds, who had 0 points at the half, now up to 9.
Kentucky needs to stay aggressive. You don't want turnovers right now. Georgia doesn't force a lot of turnovers with their defense. So Kentucky should be able to get that ball side to side for open looks just like that.
Hero freed himself, and that's what Hero does. Knocks down the outside jump shot. Lead back to 13.
Georgia has missed 11 or 12 straight contested shots. Kentucky doing a look at his hand.
That's what Higgins does, and they're going to get a Hammonds hold. You bring that ball in front of your friend Ashton Higgins, and you're losing it.
That's just that schoolyard bully mentality I talked about with Laura earlier.
All right, Dykes, get us through this. Go ahead. What do you got?
Well, my eyes are on Virginia and Duke. I know those other games are important, and the fight down there with those last two guys are important, but Virginia and Duke, that's just a monster matchup, and Duke without their point guard that's a huge loss.
They're your fighters.
I like Dillashaw on the right only because I can say his name. Right?
Henry Cejudo.
And he's 2 inches taller, which must mean he has a wingspan advantage to deliver blows.
Yeah, body fat both fairly low when you're about 125 pounds at 5'6", 5'4". Got a one-on-one for Georgia.
Is it not a 1-and-1?
I thought it was, and it is. Yep, we had it.
Yeah.
So Torian Wilridge, a senior out of Beaumont, Texas, 6'6", 220. Got to get some stops, Jimmy, if you really are entertaining an idea of winning this game for Georgia. The three-point shooting has really killed them tonight. Wilridge knocks that down.
If Georgia has any resemblance of a press, it's getting ready to come at Kentucky right now. Cal will be so pleased so far with 5:42 to go with his defense in the second half. They've held Georgia to 14 second half points.
Good battle by P.J. Washington. One thing you don't hear a lot about, see how P.J. went up for that rebound with both hands extended, grabbed that ball and pulled it down. Tom Crean was telling us one thing Calipari preaches to his players. Get both hands up, grab that ball, hold on tight. Hero, baseline, he's starting to feel it too, but he misses that one short.
Georgia's got to get downhill quickly now in their offense.
Claxton, real tough runner, but he gets it to go.
Hard shot.
Stay within shouting distance. Down 12 at the 5-minute mark.
It's still very unique that Georgia, to me, they're a downhill driving team when they're at their best, but it's not from their guards. It's from that 4 and 5 spot primarily, especially Hammonds and Claxton. Can they get enough of that, though, with under 5 to go in this game to get back in it?
They set Hero up for a 3. Instead, he gets it to P.J. Washington. Tough shot. Now, Richards did not touch it. No offensive goaltending.
There's so much value in this game against Georgia, if you're Kentucky, to get the ball up on the rim. That means the shot blocker was taken out of the game. The ball was on the rim, and Nick Richards goes in for the finish.
Cannot have an empty trip. There's another Hagan steal. Stop it. Oh, he got fouled, and there is the call. I didn't hear the whistle. But how about Ashton Higgins? He not only picks your pocket, he also anticipates the pass.
Ravi, he is a gap blaster. And watch him just blast right through that gap right there with both hands. If you throw it anywhere near his inside shoulder, it is over. You have to understand that this guy is going to make his guy back cut. And he has really developed. I'm telling you, he got on the floor as a tenacious on-ball defender. Then he developed into an off-ball defender that could just blanket a shooter all over the floor.
Wow.
And that fed his confidence now into paint touches offensively, finding others, and now finding his own offense.
Look at his name in that record book. How about, I mean, with all the history of Kentucky, first guy with 3+ steals in 6 straight games in the history of the program.
I asked Emmanuel quickly today after practice, what makes Hagan so good defensively? You go against him every day. He said, I'll tell you this, whatever you do, you better do it fast, because his feet and his hand speed is outstanding.
Crump. No good. Hero with the run out. And why wouldn't you give it to Hagans? 22 in the game now. Check that, 23. And every point adds to his career high.
This has not been near enough offense for Georgia, obviously, in this game. Kentucky's pressure has pushed Georgia out. They've settled for a ton of long threes in this game.
Yeah, too many threes. Here comes Hagan again with an 18-point lead and 3:28. And here at Stegman, we can hear the Go Big Blue chant.
When you're 4 out of 25 from the three-point line like Georgia is right now, you got no chance.
You have no chance. Nope. We'll take a timeout. Wasn't exactly breakfast at Tiffany's, but we will share where we had breakfast this morning.
The rules of luxury. Look, but don't touch. Touch, but don't use. Use, but don't enjoy. Enjoy, but don't show it.
If you're going to follow one rule, make sure it's this one. Luxury should be lived in. Infiniti, empower the drive.
This season marks nearly 85 years of SEC tradition. At Johnsonville, we respect heritage. We've been making premium sausage since 1945. We're heading back to SEC country to earn our fans. On every campus, at every tailgate, every big game, all the way to the championship. Get fired up for game day, made the Johnsonville way.
I feel you, Adnan. Send it in, Jerome. I heard that little reference to great Bill Raftery. Kentucky leading Georgia 65-47. So earlier this morning, we started what is now going to just be a tradition every week. Next week we're in Lexington, but a little Super Tuesday breakfast. Rutledge introduced this whole thing to us, this social media thing. So the three of us shared a breakfast. She's now updated us to about 56,000 views. She buried a huge biscuit. You went like fruit and egg whites.
I had colored my breakfast. Laura Rutledge had the biggest biscuit I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah, we crushed the biscuit. You know, I just want Ravi to explain what he meant by mix it up with what he did with his breakfast.
Yeah, I'm a flavor. Whatever's on the plate can all be mixed together. We're not going to separate eggs or hash browns or fruit. It can all be one. It's all going to the same place. So you may as well just mix it all together. I find it increases the flavor. You should try it, Rut.
Yeah, good flavor. We're going to try that next week. It's going to be a weekly thing, and we're going to give you also a little preview of the game that we're doing at the night. So it's not all breakfast. There's a little bit of content there, too.
Well, the comments seem to focus much more on the breakfast than the stuff we were talking about with the game.
My first game with Laura Rutledge, and I've quickly learned she is a cruise director as a part-time job. She knows every restaurant, every coffee shop.
I spent a lot of time in the SEC.
You have kept us entertained all day long, Laura. Thank you.
I'm here for you.
Dick Vitale next Tuesday, so we'll Skype you in.
Would you please?
We'll Skype you in.
I'll be waiting on you in Nashville, where one of my two favorite teams, Tennessee, will be coming in to take on Vanderbilt.
Right.
Laura still has half that biscuit in her purse. She's gonna be eating that thing next week in Lexington.
We go one-on-one, so Kentucky is going to improve to 3-1 in the conference, given what you've seen from Kentucky. And again, we're way early in the season. But the way Calipari's teams operate is they start slow. We saw that terrible game they had against Duke. Then they kind of go roller coaster for a while, and they settle into a consistency. Is this what you've seen tonight show you that they're capable of becoming a very consistent, high-level team?
Yes.
Meaning, second weekend, if not further, in a tournament.
Yeah, definitely second weekend, if not further. They have the pieces for a Final Four run. And again, I don't think you can say it enough. For them to come in here and play like they played and Keldon Johnson being no factor, well, that's what really good teams are able to do. And Hagans has just completely changed this team. He has some swagger about him. He's got some fight about him. And he changed Kentucky defensively, and now he has become a change them offensively because of his ability to get to that paint anytime he wants.
Hammond's going to go to the free throw line, and he'll shoot 2.
How about the power of Virginia tonight against Virginia Tech? That's the only team to beat Virginia last year. Out of all those ACC games, Virginia Tech was the only one that had the formula. Not this year. That's a much, much better offensive team that Tony Bennett has.
And given Hagan's performance tonight, Jimmy, and the point guard and the significance of that guy when it comes to teams, Georgia has clearly identified that as a need. If they get a great point guard, given some of these kids are sophomores, I mean, the class came in, it was Hightower, it was Hammonds, it was Claxton. They're all young guys.
Yes.
Put something together here.
Yeah, no, he will, and watch out.
PJ threw it a little high to EJ, and he's going to get a walk. So, by the way, we went to the first half. We nearly had a three-pointer from 77 feet away. Last night we had one. Elijah Hughes for Syracuse. That's a 77-foot shot, and he flicked it. I think it's important for people at home to recognize just how hard that is, how far you have to throw it.
Well, first of all, because I'm a strong guy.
You got it to the free throw line.
I got it to the free throw line. That's what amazed me when I came out here today. We started talking about that shot from Elijah Hughes, and we started trying it. I mean, he shot it. It wasn't a hook shot or
from his hip,
like a football pass, a one-arm swing. He shot that thing with. And it's amazing how many times that shot made right before the half will impact the outcome of the game. It did last night.
The good news is your shot ended up in my hands and ended up in the basket. So we still scored the 2 instead of the 3.
Yeah, it just didn't quite look as good.
Didn't look nearly as good. No, weird guy in hat, in jeans catching the ball doesn't really fit.
Well, it's a powerful statement by Kentucky tonight in this building, because the building was hot and full of energy early.
Right.
And Georgia came out and punched them. They went to the paint, they punched them, and kind of had Kentucky on their heels a little bit. But boy, for about the next 32 minutes, it has been all big blue.
PJ Washington tries to go one-on-one. He kicks it to Montgomery, and he gets it to go.
Such good offense. Kentucky 3 or 4 times have found the backside of their offense tonight. It's been Hagans 2 or 3 times, that time off of a post touch.
How about Kentucky-Auburn this weekend? We got Auburn tomorrow night in the SEC Network. Dan Dockich will join me there at Texas A&M. But boy, Kentucky and Auburn on the road for Kentucky. We'll see if this continues for the Wildcats. That'll be a war.
It's an Auburn team that they're not playing as well right now as they were a year ago. Their rotation has grown, and last year Bruce Pearl had 7.5 guys that they can always mismatch you. That's not the case right now. But still, I'll say it again against Auburn. You better play your tails off with effort. You better guard the ball, ultimately guard the threes, and don't turn that dadgum thing over.
Ashton Hagans trying to cap a terrific night with a 3-ball kick to Hero. And he doesn't get it to go. But Ashton Hagans, the star of the night for Kentucky tonight. Back in Georgia, where he once committed to play college basketball.
Not only did he avoid the noise, he came in and made noise. It's like Georgia was throwing a party, and he came in and laid down on the couch, took command of the remote control, and did whatever he wanted to do.
Career high 23. Kentucky a 20-point win over Georgia, 69-49. And I'm sure a tremendous amount of relief and joy for Ashton Hagans, the freshman out of Cartersville, Georgia. We'll hear from Ashton in just a second. Just break down what he did tonight.
Well, first of all, he's relentless in everything that he does. And if you throw the ball to the high shoulder, it's just an automatic two. He makes hard layups. That sounds simple, but not everyone can do it. His stroke is better than his percentage, but he didn't settle for it tonight. He got to the paint and moved the ball anytime he wanted. He is terrific, Ravi, at playing high to low and low to high with his speed. And a phenomenal job by this young kid on the road tonight.
Right, and never played like he was in a hurry. We're in a hurry to get it to Laura. Go ahead, Rhett.
All right, thanks so much. Ashton, you committed to Georgia. You end up changing your mind. You go to Kentucky. You come back here and were able to quiet out the noise in this game. How did you do it?
First starting off having my teammates on my side, just know them guys with me the whole 40 minutes. And it's no hate. Coach Fox left, so I just changed my mind, loyalty over anything. But, I still love Dog Nation, but I'm a Wildcat now.
This crowd was loud. They were talking to you throughout. What was that like?
I'm built for this, so, I just try to go out there, like I said, play my game, attack the basket. If they're stacking off me, try to knock down a shot. That's just with being in the gym, being under Cal. He's a hard coach. He's on you every day, wants you to play hard. I just love this game, and I'm just happy to be home.
You're known for your steals, but tonight a career high in points with 23. How have you gained confidence shooting?
Like I said, just standing in the gym, working on your craft. That's what I've been doing lately. I'm just trying to get to the next level. That's why I made a decision to go with Cal. But, I'm home, so I had to try to put on the show.
What do you think this show was like for your family that got to see you tonight?
I feel like they was very excited. My dad, I don't think he sat down the whole game. I seen him back there the whole game. He just telling me to keep my foot on the pedal. That's what I try to do. I just showed out for my family. I try to do that.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank y'all.
Ravi.
Thanks, Laura. He did show out. Absolutely. And the same way that you learned from Gilgeous-Alexander about your work ethic and being the first in the gym, it appears as if Ashton Hagans has been affected by that as well. Georgia shoots 4 of 27 from 3. No chance when you're doing that. We'll send it back to the studio with Laura and Jimmy Dykes. I'm Carl Ravitch. Adnan, all yours. 69-49 the final.